getting quickly to it. The divine feminine is very ticked off, for lack of a better word. And also, before I get into that, thinking about the way we deliver messages, as far as now, of course, the brilliance of our uniqueness is how could I say, how we deliver different perceptions and perspectives of source, and then we deliver these different perspectives uniquely, and also we observe these different perspectives uniquely. So also, say for instance, as somebody who channels, say for instance, I may channel Sekhmet and somebody else may channel Sekhmet, but our delivery of the message may be a little different. Because say for instance, if somebody who only embraces light refuses to embrace the dark, and very like everything is sunshine and peaches all the time, you know what I'm saying, then that person is gonna miss the part of Sekhmet's message where she like, I'm gonna tell all y'all womanizing motherfuckers up, in that word, excuse my diction, you know what I'm saying? Because matter of fact, honestly, that's one of the worst curse words you could use in that sense. But what's funny, it rolls off my tongue whenever I don't have, it's funny when you don't have that meaning behind it. It's like it's just a curse word to put emphasis on a message. But again, if somebody who doesn't deal with the dark or doesn't deal with the wholeness of source, deliver that message, then you're only gonna get some of that message from that, from the perception of that vessel, because this vessel operates from a certain frequency and vibration. So even though it's getting the same message as me, even though that person getting the same message as me, they're gonna deliver it a little different because they're, the mechanism of their computer, of their software is a little different. So you're gonna get, a different different answer in essence. And the same thing, like if I embrace the darkness and the fullness of the universe and I get a message from Sekhmet and it's like, all right, yeah, it's about the divine love and feminine, but it's also coming with the wrath of God as well. Because don't forget, in nature, everybody know, matter of fact, what's the main thing we mostly know not to do in nature? I'm gonna let y'all think so y'all could guess. Almost like a little kid show. Like, hey kids, what in nature, is the most ferocious? Like, what's one of the most ferocious things you've seen in nature? Or one of the most brave or courageous situations you've seen in nature? And when you think about it, it's a mom trying to save her young. And you've seen it so many times where it's a situation where that mama don't care what you are. Like, matter of fact, it could be a bird, and birds know they don't have no fists and no super powerful strength to to hit a human in that manner, but you go on the wrong bird nest and that mother is gonna try her best to let you know, like, you better get away from her young. And think about that vibration of source, that the divine anger, but it's definitely the energy of Sekhmet and Kali Ma. Like, matter of fact, if you want to, like, if it was like election, like if we was doing politics, dealing with this spiritual ascension process and the energy that's behind it, the two faces of this campaign would be Kali Ma and Sekhmet. And remember, Kali Ma is that energy, that dark primordial force, and that true representation of the primordial feminine energy, with her being completely black, that primordial womb man energy, you know what I'm saying? And she's holding that severed head, in her hand, like, oh shit, like she about that business. Yeah, because matter of fact, I work with Kali Ma, and it's about killing that ego. And part of the ego, in essence, it stems from that yang energy, that masculine energy. Matter of fact, with the stories of the beings in Atlantis and how, it was a magical place, more of a feminine, intuitive place, until these egotistical logic type of beings that operate out of lower chakras came, basically like the ego in essence, So that ego, is a masculine energy, and it's time for that energy to be moved out. Matter of fact, Also, dealing with moving that energy out, it's how could I say? It's no longer lip service dealing with this situation. It's no longer like, oh yeah, my queen. I love all my queens, and just saying it. You know how you say, like how I always say, it's about your actions. You could say you believe in God, but do your actions show you believe in God? You go to church every Sunday, say you believe in God, but could you trust in God enough to go out and be houseless? You know what I'm saying? Trust that God will bring you everything if you believe in God so much. Do your actions really show it? So your actions are gonna be called to a place where you're gonna have to show that you really respect the divine feminine. Cause again, it's gonna be a lot of it's gonna be a lot of womanizing men that's not gonna be around, or not gonna make it, through this situation, because again, that's the energy that's coming forward. So all that womanizing and still being derogatory towards the feminine. Just think about it like this, start thinking of all women as your mom, your daughter, your sister, your auntie, grandmother. Just start thinking of that energy in that manner, and then that'll kind of help you to carry that respect with the situation as well. But basically like the divine feminine energy is asking and demanding that respect. And again, think about how we say Mama Earth, like when the wrath of Mama Earth, I don't know if any of y'all seen hurricanes, tornadoes, flash floods, that's all love. It's just it's self-love. Because think about it like this, no matter how much the toxins love the toxicity of your body when it's in an acidic state, if you love yourself, you're like, all right, toxins, I know you love the acidity of my body, but I got to clean myself up. So that's what's going on. And all that lip service to the divine feminine is gonna be challenged. It's gonna be about really, really, showing love to the queens with our actions, lifting them. And again, as men in this situation, of course you're lifting the divine feminine, but not only, vibrationally within yourself and then your, within your queen, but also just generally, but you're raising it up but also keeping your masculinity, you know what I'm saying? Because again, that's how we balance each other off, it's not, masculinity, and feminine, is masculine, feminine, you know what I'm saying? And this is all, just spiritual, energies and how they work. It's not to get into the egotistical gender thing, because matter of fact, nobody even got time for them type of games no more. Yeah, just things are just getting more real. And again, it's nothing to get scared of course, but just to be aware, and especially this message is just mostly to the men, man, especially my musician, man. Think about like the music you're making, man, like what type of image you putting out there, how you depicting the women. That's very important moving forward, because if you're not respecting the divine feminine on a certain level, you're gonna be seen as useless. Like this wrath of God that's coming is a woman's wrath of God. You know what I'm saying? It's not the masculine form. This is gonna be unpredictable. Fuck your ego, for lack of a better word. Curvy, to hell with logic, to hell with being predictable. Because again, what the ego loves being comfortable. The ego loves things being the same, and the ego is a form of the masculinity. What the spirit loves, the spirit is cool with unpredictable, with being unpredictable. It's cool with uncertainty, you know what I'm saying, and just going with the flow of things like water, and that's what we're being asked to do. As a matter of fact, again, I got that message through a sister who came through on the beach, Sister and Dom, who, embodied that energy on a level where, it's definitely misunderstood by a lot of humans, but I understood the situation. Because even down to where her energy at one point started to vamp on a certain level, you know, but at the same time, I still got it. Because think about it like this. When there's a natural disaster going on and, you're no air conditioner, all that, those conditions are not comfortable, and you could feel like your energy being vamped, in essence. And that's the same thing, as above, so below. So the way her energy was, and also being psychic, is just delivering that fullness of the duality, like, oh yeah, of course God is good, but God is just as evil as it is good. It's both polarities. The fact that we exist in the physical mean that, again, that male aspect of God. The fact that we in the physical mean God chose to say, hey, let me look at myself. The fact that we are the universe observing itself is basically like looking in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like stopping and like, look at my eyes, look at my nose, it's identifying with something physical, As above, so below. Everything we doing, and matter of fact, that's to the guys that are kind of like over us in essence. We're kind of like the older gods trapped in bodies, and the guys that are younger than us got us trapped in these bodies, And I forgot where I was gonna go with that, but I was gonna get into like the demiurge situation. But just back to the fullness of the situation with the divine feminine. Again, all that womanizing energy is gonna be is gonna be called to, you're gonna have to cease to exist. And of course there's a growth. Music just not gonna make that change overnight, but it's definitely warning shots that came out, the divine feminine through Sekhmet. And Sekhmet, picture this, that Sekhmet energy is so fiery and warlike that she's one of the few feminine energies from Kemet, that could also be depicted with a phallus, with a penis, because basically it's feminine energy, divine feminine energy, but it's so fiery that, it kind of like it almost has a masculine aspect to it, and that reminds me so much of the sister, again, that came through, because it's that same aspect of like, and when she came through, she was like just giving psychic readings and just, just killing and melting the ego down. I'm talking about just dissolving it, where I had to get that reminder myself of, that's why I think I said it in one of my other videos recently, where, of course, I'm a peaceful person by nature, and I carry myself peacefully, but don't think that spirituality is all about walking around like, and not joking and, and this and that. Like, nah, clown. It's all right to kind of curse a few times in this video, you know what I'm saying? And you don't want to go overboard with that, you know what I'm saying? To each his own with that situation. But, like learning to go with the flow on that level, learning to it's so many other things, just downloads, because there's some things that I was working on, because too, as she was telling me about some of these things, I saw the ego seeping in, and of course, at some point or in one way, I'm like, I got my higher ups where I'm gonna listen to, even though it may be spiritual message is being delivered through the ego in a manner where, I shouldn't take to it too much, but some image still say, that's that God is everything aspect though, because God is the ego as well, like God is the devil, God is God, God ain't even God, because I say God is just the everything, and God is a bad word. God is better used for like the immediate creators. Because matter of fact, even down to creating things itself. Oh, that's why I was going earlier where the demiurge is like the first gods of ego. Like that's cause say for instance, that's still ego to say, well, hey, I'm Thor, or hey, I'm Jehudi, hey, I'm Thoth, or hey, I'm you know, all these different god names, and I resonate with this energy. You know, that's an identity. You know, so that's ego. You know, too. So it's so deep into that situation. But again, just definitely a warning to all the males, and honestly, I'm saying to the males, but also the women. You gotta love yourself and respect yourself in order for others to love and respect you. You know what I'm saying? Like Maya Angelou used a quote in one of these books. It's an African proverb about like you can't, you shouldn't take a shirt from somebody who's shirtless. You know what I'm saying? You know, in other words, how could you get love from somebody who doesn't love themselves? You know, and that's the whole thing. That's why our communities and everything so battered, because the moms, the mama, the wound is battered. The wound is messed up. And if the womb is messed up, then the baby, as above, so below. Just like if the mom not taking care of the body. So right now in the world, if we not taking care of the feminine energy, the woman of the world, then the womb, the children of the future is going to be messed up, because the womb man is messed up, and all children come through that portal. I repeat, matter of fact, I think I heard the Brethren Joel Benjamin speak on that not so long ago. It's something about an organic portal. We are organic portals. Our moms are organic portals. It's a flesh portal that you come through. You know what I'm saying? Well, all of a sudden, when that sperm touched that egg, poof, you know what I'm saying? That consciousness come through that organic portal. And that's why the government put you around all that inorganic stuff to throw off your DNA and your organic vibration. But just really wanted to get into that, like that Kali Ma, getting rid of the ego, like fully. And again, I always say that, let me correct that, getting rid of the ego, the part of the ego that's a separatist, the part of the ego that says, I got a problem with a woman having more spiritual energy and power than me. I got a problem with a woman being in a leadership position. I got a problem with, that part of the ego. It's more of taming the ego. We're not getting rid of it fully, but we are taming it, and we're taming it definitely in the area of masculinity in particular, like as far as like, because again, the ego to a certain extent is masculinity in a whole, but definitely want to tame it and respect that divine feminine with your actions more than your words. Queen this, queen it. It's like saying I always use the analogy like, oh man, I love you, and slap somebody in the face. It's like, does that person really love you? They said I love you, but they just smack you in the face. What kind of love is that? Oh man, I love my mama, I love my daughters, and this and that. All the bitches in the club pouring liquor on their ass, and it's like, bruh, you know what I'm saying? I felt bad just mimicking that shit, just in that moment. Sorry, kids, but again though, but this is something y'all need to hear, because y'all not really kids, y'all grown ass souls in a little kid body. We need to remember that about our children, and how much we don't let them see and hear, you know what I'm saying? That's society that say, oh, little kids shouldn't hear a curse word, this and that. That's not no soulful stuff, so that's another thing. But again, like you claim, you love your mom and respect, women, things of this nature. But then, the first song that we jamming out to, and don't get me wrong, I understand the ratchetness of our nature, and what we done been through, of course, and how much it done program our subconscious. Because you got a divine feminine raising through Cardi B with that actual, with that quote unquote ratchet energy, and it's divine. Like no matter what you want to try to knock it or whatever, you know, like it's divine what Cardi B is doing. Like, you know, no matter how logically it may not seem so, or how much it may not practically seem so, you know, that's the real deal. But again, respecting that divine feminine on a real level. Peace. Happy now. Now is the vibrate, of course. Not too far in the future. Not too far in the past. Right now. Peace.